Hiei just giving up at the pet store since I won't let him do what he wants. Buying guinea pig stuff. What are you? He's throwing a fit like a toddler. This is my life. Hiei, you gonna keep throwing a fit? Hiei. A little assistance. I am just a little too short to be able to reach this. The wind likes to blow this thing around whenever I open the door, and well, now it's going to fall on me. Well, that's what I get for being short. Making spaghetti squash. You need your quinoa fix. I got you. And it is complete. Quinoa, spaghetti squash, and kale. Delicious. It is time to once again try something new in the bathroom. I've got the carbonated face mask, and I know everybody's used it, but I finally got a hold of it, and I am excited to try it out because my face needs some help. My final verdict for that is mine was melted, so without it being melted, I think it would work just fine because it did work even though it was melted. It didn't work as well as it should have, but at least it did its job enough. I can't say that I feel like my face is any cleaner, but you know, it was a fun experience. Alright, little guy, it's your first bath. Yeah, it's your first bath with me. She told me he'd had baths before and that he likes to swim around, and I guess that is true. He loves to swim. We got a baby Ruth in the pool. He did some swims, but it started to get cold really fast, so I decided to take him out because he started shivering. Poor baby boy, no shivers. You'll stay warm, okay? Since it is still below freezing here in Oklahoma, even though it is springtime, I thought that I would give him a nice little sock. That way he stay a little more toasty while it is cold. I'm trying to warm up my place now with the heater, but he can have a little sock to stay warm. I call this one The Night Mommy Snapped. And so did Baby. I got one. I got a doll from the creepy dollhouse. It was amazing. I was told about this estate sale, and all I was told about it was it is filled to the brim with dolls, and she has a dungeon. And my mind immediately went to dungeon, you say. So I desperately wanted to go, and right when I walked in the door, there was a mannequin greeting us, a very torn up mannequin, mind you, and I was like, I'm home. This is my future, because it was filled to the brim with dolls. And the sad part is, I was there the last day, which means a lot of the dolls had actually been sold. That was not even close to as many dolls as she had had. She also had much larger dolls that I didn't even get to see because they had been sold. I got to see them on the website of the photos that they had taken to kind of show what type of things she had, and I had thought about getting one of the larger porcelain dolls, and they were huge, mind you. They were close to my height. She had one left. I didn't get it because it had a scary face, and I thought about that standing in the corner of my place, and I was like, that might creep me out. But I did end up getting a relatively large doll. I mean, she's not absolutely huge, but she's pretty nice size, and thought about that I would get more, and I looked around, but I only ended up with 2, and I ended up with some of the cleanest of the 2, because most of them were covered in stuff, and stuff that I didn't know how to clean off, or clean efficiently to sanitize enough that I would feel safe around them. They were covered in a lot of stuff. One was covered in blood, and that freaked me out a whole lot. But it got me thinking, like, at estate sales, it is such a personal thing, because you are going through their personal belongings, getting an idea of who they were, their life, and I started to wonder, oh, okay, obviously she was a hoarder. Definitely, she had so much more than even dolls. Obviously a hoarder, but it made me wonder, like, why the dolls? Because it seemed to be that was her main focus, was a ton of dolls. I did, while rummaging through a whole lot of stuff, found a picture of her, and all I could think was, I don't know if she's alive at a nursing home or if she has passed away, but estate sales normally are that somebody has passed away. So I was like, man, I wish I had met you. I wish I had met you. And I happened to find that picture while in the dungeon, and I first had a thought of her whenever I heard the dungeon and the dolls. I had this specific thought of whose house this was going to be, like what type of person. Then I went into the dungeon. It wasn't the type of dungeon that I had been hoping for, but it was something where I was like, now I'm more curious about why the dolls, and it makes you just kind of, you can only guess and tell. You don't know who to talk to, like family-wise. I wish I had met her, because I started looking through other stuff of hers and started to kind of get an idea of either dolls do represent like innocence to her, and maybe she has lost that and she's trying to cling to it again, or possibly maybe that she had lost a child, because this was so excessive. Possibly she lost a child, or maybe had a child who grew up with a mental handicap. I couldn't fully figure it out. By some of the clothing in the closet, I almost wanted to think that maybe there was an adult with a mental handicap in the household, that maybe the dolls even belonged to them, possibly, but I couldn't fully tell what all was going on, and nobody had answers. That was another thing that was just eating at me, is I needed to know. I don't know why, but I felt like I was looking into my future. I need to know what would get somebody there, because I feel like I am on that path. I will have the home full of dolls. I also did start to think, because there was no complete pattern to the collection of dolls, that possibly it was that people found out that she liked dolls, she collected dolls on her own. This has happened to me, where people find out that I like something, so then for a holiday or a birthday, they give you something similar to what you like. So possibly it was that they found out she liked dolls, and so for every birthday or Christmas or something, they would give her a doll as a gift, and that would maybe explain a bit more of why there was so much chaos to it and so much abundance of the chaos. But I don't know.
didn't meet the lady. I'm now so much more curious, but I digress. It was quite a fun experience to go in. I don't go to enough estate sales because there's not enough ones like this. If you are scared of dolls, my apologies for just how many there were, but it is an interest of mine and I did find it quite fascinating, just the array of them and the types of them and the well-being of them. It was quite fun and it has helped me during the week. This has been a super difficult week. It has helped me to just kind of think back on the fun of that estate sale during this very painful week, and I might be collecting more dolls. I don't think it helped with my collection issues, but thank you all very much for watching. You guys don't even have a single clue just how much it means to me that you are here right now. It has been super difficult to even get this vlog up for many different reasons, and this week has just been... I almost quit YouTube and I almost just like quit everything. I almost got fired from my job, so I almost just like quit everything. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm depressed. I give up. But I'm here and I'm sorry I slapped you, honey. High five. I'm here and I want to thank you for being here as well. It means way more than you could ever know. I will see you all next week, and I need to go film for Cosplay in the Closet. Bye.
It'll be alright in the morning. Everything will be just fine. It'll be alright in the morning. Roses will keep you alive. I know that it's hard to live when it feels like you got nothing left to give, but you're far too beautiful to be a ghost, and you're far too brave just to let go. It'll be alright in the morning. Everything will be just fine. It'll be alright